Picture this, a curve in the road, a change in plans. Well, what do you say? With the all-new Audi Q3, the answer's always yes. Yes to adventure. Yes to escape. Yes to performance. Yes to comfort. Yes to right now. Because saying yes without hesitation, that's real luxury. The all-new Audi Q3, made for the yes life.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Birds of the Roundtable. It's Monday night, and we have made it to draft week. We are only days away from the NFL draft starting this Thursday. We are still talking draft, obviously. We still have two more positions to go, corners and safeties. We will take care of that tonight. Joining to help out with both of those, David at David Neese PHL. What's going on, buddy?
Nothing, man. I'm glad that we're finally here. All of the speculation ends in about 72 hours. So we're gonna know what how he's thinking. We're gonna know if you see a wide receiver go really early. I think you're gonna learn how that situation's gonna unfold too.
Yeah, no, exactly. The draft is very telling. We'll hear quite a bit, probably even from this point on and right up until the draft. But still, what Howie does will definitely speak volumes. Also joining Deibs at Mr. Crackpot as well. What's going on, bud?
What's going on, man? Fun position to talk about tonight. There's definitely a few of them that I think are absolutely on the Eagles' radar. We've got Brett Eclipse chiming in, needing the draft to happen today. Antonio Holmes, what's going on? What
I mean, where y'all been? We've been here. The Eagles pinball isn't new. Antonio, come on, bud.
I definitely think that this could be a position the Eagles target day one, day two, and there's some really good ones available.
Yeah, no, absolutely. See, that's the thing. I don't know. I mean, I know I've known Antonio to pop in on any one of my shows for a while now, so who knows how far back it goes. But either way, we're here, Eagles Pinball Network. Hit that follow button, hit the notifications button, whatever you got going, join us. So anyway, we are going to be talking about cornerbacks today. Now, we've had some recent success with our cornerbacks with, of course, Q and Coop, and we did just sign Tariq Woolen to a one-year deal, but still, the need is always going to be there. So why don't we get into it? We're going to be talking about our top five. Good old buddy Pat Bernard, what's up, buddy? Hey, next time you're up Bravos, you let me know. We got to meet up. So why don't we start with our top five? Started with David last show. I just want to start with you since you probably have, again, something super weird. Let's go with your number five.
I don't know if this is weird. I feel like this is a pretty chalk five, at least for me. I will see.
It probably it's going to be, not going to lie.
But leading off number five for me is Chris Johnson. 6 foot, 185 pounds. Love this guy. He was an absolute baller in 2025. 4 picks. 9 passes broken up, 3 tackles for loss. He had 2 return for a touchdown last year. That was the lead in the NCAA. He won Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year. Had this guy played in the Power 5, we could be talking more than a first-round prospect. Great versatility. He can play outside corner. He can play the slot. We all know Howie and Fangio love them some versatility. This guy can play multiple schemes. He's played inside and outside in college, man or zone, has a knack for creating takeaways. His analytics when it comes to coverage ability is off the charts. He was also one of the biggest winners of the combine. 4.4 40-yard dash, 38-inch vertical jump, 9.82 RES score. That was the best of 2,800 plus cornerbacks ranked between 1987 and 2026. Great change of direction ability. Negative-wise, he's not the most physical corner, and he struggles against more physical receivers. And you would like to see those traits kind of translate a little more, especially on contested catches. But he's currently 30th on my big board, and I think I might be too low on him.
Okay, very nice. David, did you have Chris Johnson, not to be confused with any of the other Chris Johnsons ever in the NFL?
Yeah.
What about you?
Or with my Johnson. Yeah. I have him number 5 as well. Actually, I had him 5th.
What?
I mean, you that was a softball, man. Even the Phillies bats would have hit that one. I mean,
I love how it took Deibs another 5 seconds to get there. He is running at least 10 seconds behind tonight already. Love it.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I had him 5th as well. I mean, he's got fluid hips, and per me and Shakira, hips don't lie. Hips are the ultimate cornerback tell, in my opinion. You know, fluid hips, they can turn quick, agility, and he is a processor. Like you mentioned, a ball hawk. He's athletic, dependable, and a film junkie, and I just love that with the corner. He has the ability to be a lockdown corner in the NFL, and I think he's a steal in the second round if he falls that far, because everything about him exudes first-round talent.
Yeah. No, I actually had him number 4. So yeah, this more and more I keep kind of diving into him, the more and more I like. Just real quick, Antonio, just to answer you, I don't really necessarily have a guy that I'm like head over heels in love with tight end wise.
I do.
There's a couple of guys, Roush, what's the kid from Houston, Tanner
Koziel.
Yeah, those are guys that I like that are going to be like, where'd this guy come from? Yeah. So, but yes. But anyway, you can go right back and talk and go right to our tight end show after this show, of course, and check it out on our YouTube. So, all right. David, you that was your number 5. My number 5 is Colton Hood. Kind of had a toss up between him and Johnson. I think right now they're very close in my eyes. Yeah, Hood coming from Tennessee. He's got absolute great feet, fluid hips, able to kind of backpedal with the best of them, mirroring wide receivers, and doesn't really lose any speed. Great at press. I think he ran a 4.4, if I'm not mistaken. So he's got speed for days. And he can kind of play, wherever is needed. Seems to, whatever scheme, he seems to fit in very well. Whether it's, isolation or quarters or, cover 2. So I will say run support, not that great. At least it's inconsistent. But, this is a guy that I think has a high ceiling. And I think there's definitely room to grow. And I think he's going to come into this NFL. And, again, obviously his other Tennessee teammate might get, some of the, more of the glory, if you will, but I don't think there's, he's that far off. So he's easily a first round talent. And I don't expect him to fall into the second. Do you guys have Hood at all, or?
I have him ranked a little behind. Number 7 for me, number 60 overall. I definitely think he's a little slender. I definitely think he's a little stiff, but I definitely think he's a day 2, no question.
Yeah, I have him number 4 as well. I mean, he emerged during McCoy's injury and just was a total disruptor. Competitive, strong press ability, good footwork, instincts, physicality, consistently every week shows all of those traits. And he's a little opportunistic, in my opinion, but he thrives in tight coverage. I have him at the end of 1, the beginning of 2, like somewhere in that, 30 to 40 range, I guess is kind of where I have him. But yeah, really good cornerback. And I think he's kind of undervalued a little bit during this draft cycle. Is a name that you really haven't heard many people discuss often, but I think he could end up being almost as good. Maybe not as the top 2 on this list, but anybody from 3 to 8, you could probably put him anywhere on the board.
Yeah. All right. David, why don't we stick with you? You're number 4. Oh, wait, you just said.
Yeah, it would be
My
Deibs number 4.
You're number 4. Sorry, you're right.
The guy I'm looking at is Brandon Cisse, out of South Carolina. A guy that is quick, explosive, twitch athlete, 41-inch vert, 10-11 broad jump, 4.4 40-yard dash at his pro day, 9.24 RES score. Just a smooth footwork. Knows how to use his length at the line of scrimmage when he needs to. Tracks the ball really well downfield. He's a willing tackler and run support. And when he is like kind of locked in, the dude looks like a box safety at times. And he plays with a high motor that I think fans will love. He obviously needs to add more to his frame. Very slender. He's got some inconsistencies with his tackling. Needs to improve his instincts and awareness, but I really like his fit with the Birds and that ability to recover quickly, that competitive spirit, I think makes him a really solid fit under Mitchell and Coop, and I think it'd be a really good day 2 selection. I have him number 35 overall on my big board.
Nice. Yeah, I like Cisse. I think I have him at number 6 in my rankings there. David, did you have Cisse on your list at all or no?
He's like number 8 for me. I mean, I think Deibs said everything. I mean, just a long, fluid press kind of corner guy, physical tools, upside to develop in a scheme, versatile starter to me at the next level. Good player. I mean, yeah, I think he pretty much hit on everything.
Okay. My number 4 is
Colton Hood.
What? No, that was my number 5.
There was. Chris Johnson was your number 5.
No, Johnson was number 4.
All right, well, either way, you're at number 3.
Yeah, dude. Man, I'm like Deibs. I'm losing it. All right. I guess I'll go to my number 3 then. It's Avion Terrell from Clemson. This is a dude that obviously has the corner bloodline, as older brother AJ also went to Clemson, lives in Atlanta, obviously, with the Falcons. And yeah, that's where Terrell kind of grew up in that area anyway. So kind of followed in the brother's footsteps, and now looks to do the same in the NFL. He is one of the best zone corners in this class. He's able to kind of just not only read all types of wide receiver routes and concepts, but able to stay with them. He's been constantly compared to Charles Tillman, Peanut Tillman, but it's because he has 8 forced fumbles, and it's all due to his technique in practicing and developing that skill, punching the ball out. It's pretty lethal. But yeah, he's great at tracking. It's versatile. He absolutely wants your best receiver and will not back down from that. That's definitely a guy you want. And yeah, was absolutely a stud in Clemson, and I think he should be, the second or third corner taken off the board easily in this draft. Or did you guys have Terrell?
I have him number 3. Clemson was a complete dumpster fire last year. His numbers were still really good, and I have him as a first-round talent. And I think he's a really good fit for the Philadelphia Eagles, a guy that can play nickel, can move outside if you want, can play inside out, zone kind of dude. So definitely like him. for the Philadelphia Eagles. Definitely. And we have a comment after David responds.
Yeah, I had him third also. Fluid hips, strong built ball skills, physicality. He aligns perfectly with the scheme that you want to play, like Deibs said, inside, outside. For a team like the Eagles that values versatility and disguise, he's a really good fit. His ability to match different receiver types. The only question is the injury is a wild card with him regarding how far he could fall in this draft. And if he drops like Cooper DeJean type of descent there in the draft where he's, falling to like 40, the Eagles would definitely have interest in moving up for him. I think they like him and Chris Johnson a whole lot, especially if they can get him in the second round.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. For sure.
Can we go to this comment real quick?
Yeah.
Ryan says, what do you guys think of Proctor from Alabama? Would you guys like the Eagles to get him? Why or why not? Anybody want to take this one?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take first crack at it. Yeah, I definitely like him, kind of like a lot of others ahead of him. And I think if you're, obviously if you're going to want to get him, most likely you're going to need to spend that first round pick on him. And to me, that feels like not great value at 23. That's more of a, hey, if he kind of slips into the second round and we didn't take a tackle and maybe we move up to get him kind of deal, I'd be okay with that. I like him as a prospect. I think value-wise for what we have in the first round, I do not like that. I would be a little upset if that's the pick we went with. I don't know. You guys?
I think he's kind of polarizing as far as an Eagles fit goes. He kind of sits right on the line depending on which version of the Eagles you're trying to build. Like if Jeff Stoutland was here and you wanted a mauler, a big 6'7", 350 plus pound freak, like body type, that's probably your guy, but from a trait standpoint and all, he has, the frame, the power, probably some long-term upside, but is inconsistent technique, heavy feet, struggles a little bit with speed rushers. I don't know that he completely aligns with what they're trying to do offensively moving forward.
Agreed. I'm pretty, and I don't like his potential on the outside. If they're going to get a tackle, I'll go a different route. And I kind of have interior offensive line pegged for the Eagles in that day 2 range, and Proctor would not be that guy for me. We have another comment. They're coming in tonight.
Yeah, I love it.
Guys, keep them coming. You think the Eagles will go cornerback in the second? I can't see that with the immediate area to focus on. I fully disagree with this, respectfully. It's a huge, position of value for Howie. And this concept that Reek Woolen's going to be here beyond a season is crazy. Look at Lane Johnson. They treats this draft in the big picture lens. And I think if there is a quality corner that we know are going to get paid a lot of money down the line for that position that he can get on a, in that day 1, day 2 range, I think he jumps, no question.
Yeah, I think the value's got to be there, but yeah, yes, there are other needs, but Howie, I think, has learned to not, hyper focus on those needs. That's where he's gotten in trouble. So he kind of again lets the board kind of come to him, and again, if he sees the value, he goes for that value. So.
Yeah, I agree. If any of the 5 who we're talking about, like tonight's a weird position. We're talking about 5, 6, 7 different guys, depending upon who's on the board. I think that the next 2 are all going to be the same, but we've spoken about 7 cornerbacks who all potentially could be top 35, 40 picks in this draft. Almost all of them could go in the first round, and it wouldn't surprise anybody. We've been doing this for 7 weeks, and the other positions, we were talking about player 120. With our 5th and 6th, 7th player, this is very stacked. So if one of these guys falls to the, pick 60 or something like that, I absolutely could see the Eagles jumping on one of these guys, especially again, like Avian Terrell or Chris Johnson. I think they're really high on both. Someone a little later who we didn't get an opportunity to mention, Julian Neal, is somebody who I think they really like a lot, especially in the 3rd round, just stands out as a physical corner, excellent against the run. And Malik Muhammad is a kind of Philly kind of guy too, toolsy, physical, instinctive. Again, they probably have to fall a little bit, but when the value's there, like Ryan said, he's not going to go chasing value just because of any type of position, but these are the kind of picks that you look back on and you see, just like Cooper DeJean. Who would have thought that the Eagles would have drafted another corner right after selecting Quinyon Mitchell? But the board falls the way it does, and you have to capitalize on it. And you just get great players, and you'll figure out with good coaching how to get them all to fit.
Yeah, Antonio says, I can see them going corner early day 3, but day 1 and day 2, there's too many needs between edge, wide receiver, tackle, and safety. Ryan says there's a bigger need at safety than
100%.
corner. What about Dalen Everett? I see the edge from Colorado going to the Birds in the second round. Is that Zion Young? I'm not sure. I could be blanking. But anyway, I disagree. But we talk about positions of value with safety versus corner. Unless Dylan Thiedemann falls to the Birds in round 1, I would be shocked. I would be if he had safety ranked higher than one of these top corners available.
Right. But then again, we were all shocked when we drafted a linebacker last year. So,
yep,
crazier things have happened.
Who is the Colorado edge rusher? Who
was it? Young?
I don't know. Go check out that show too. Where are we at? Number 2?
Yeah, number 2.
The only one I remember from Colorado was Arden Walker.
Arden Walker, yeah.
Zion Young is Missouri, isn't he?
Yeah, Zion Young, yeah.
I think so.
Who the heck is
Mizzou? Yeah.
How we normally drafts positions that are expensive, like premium positions.
That was my whole point.
Yeah. And safety is kind of the position you buy. And the fact that they just invested a top 64 pick last year on Drew Makuba at a position that he doesn't value that high, it would be more shocking than Jahad Campbell being drafted, in my opinion.
Yeah, to do it again. Yeah.
Who also they look at as a quasi edge too, by the way. There's a reason they keep forcing him to go home with the edge handbook every single weekend. It's because the value there goes up exponentially if they get effective edge snaps out of Jahad Campbell.
And there is also the question of where Coop plays next year.
He'll be where he was.
Yeah.
I hope.
They'd be stupid to move him. I mean,
they would be very stupid.
Again, what they did last year is in base, which is played 7% of the time,
That'll increase because they're going to keep them on the field 99% of the snaps.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In base, you have them at safety,
right?
And every other thing you throw them in the slot. You keep Coop on the field at all times.
Yeah.
So
Brett Eclipse says, I would agree drafting corner over safety, but they only have one starting caliber safety in Makuba. If they resigned Reed, Blankenship, this would be a different conversation.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. It's a little scary after Makuba.
Well, I would assume if the roster stays the way it is right now, Marcus Epps is your other starting safety. And he played, 5-6 weeks last year when Makuba was out. And they kind of liked what they saw. But we'll be at safety in 2 more guys, though.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, why don't we, David, why don't you continue and get what I assume is all of ours number 1 and number 2s. So start with number 2.
My number 2 is Jermod McCoy, which is one of the players who we're just talking about. If they fall due to injury and they become a value pick, he could be one. Because if you're building your draft board based on quarterback play via the film, he has elite talent, man, elite traits, advanced technique. He is in the conversation for CB1 if he didn't get injured. And to me, he should be no lower than second on everybody's board. He's a violent through contact competitor in every sense of the word. He's a scrapper. He refuses to back down. In short, if the Eagles want another dog at corner, and Philadelphia always welcomes more dogs to the defense, then McCoy is going to be one of the guys you want on the team, man. He is just exudes, drips franchise quarterback traits.
Yeah, he's my number 2. Love Jermod McCoy. Elite coverage ability, elite athleticism. Yeah, didn't do a lot in 2025, but I think his upside and the ability to be another shutdown cornerback would be too much for the Eagles to pass on if he falls.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Also my number 2. Yeah, this dude just, again, looks the part. When he's out there, he is studly, and you just see that he has so much potential. Yeah, David hit the nail on the head. If this injury didn't happen, easily could have been fighting with number one here for the best corner in this draft. So McCoy are all of our number twos, and Deibs, why don't we stick with you for our number one? Go right ahead.
No surprise, a guy that I loved last year. If you followed Ryan and our shows last year, oh my gosh, that's not the player I'm talking about. We're talking about Manzor, my guy, my man. Manzor, where is he at? There he is. But, he doesn't have elite traits, but man, his production is elite as it gets. You look at the numbers, 2 picks, 7 PBUs, only allowed 13 catches, a 26.7 passer rating allowed, 6 foot, 190 pounds. I have him as a top 10 prospect in this draft, maybe top 5. One of the stickiest corners in this class. Has the speed to keep up with burners vertically. This is a twitch reactive athlete, reads routes and breaks with the best of them, can flip his hips on a whim, high football IQ, can dominate in zone. He is slender. I would like to see him add some play strength, can improve his technique and footwork in the NFL. But like I said, this was one of my favorite prospects in last year's draft before he returned. And awesome to see him kind of get his praise. Elite prospect. Almost blue chip level prospect.
Yeah, absolutely. David?
Yeah, I have him as a blue chip prospect. Delane's journey has been extremely calculated, very impressive. I've known Mansour for over 4 years. He was at Virginia Tech. That's how I know him. But they promised him a ceiling that just never fully materialized. So he made the business decision to transfer to LSU. And it paid off for him. I mean, he just thrived. His size, competitive toughness, lack of panic. His technique is just elite. Smooth transitions, sticky man coverage, like Deibs mentioned, ball skills that will always make quarterbacks second guess every throw that they're going to do on his side of the field. He just profiles as the best corner in the draft, and he will be a foundational piece for whichever franchise selects him.
Yeah, absolutely. This guy's an absolute stud. He is the definition of putting putting a wide receiver on the island. I haven't seen a corner this avoided in quite some time. So that should tell you a lot about who this guy is, and wouldn't be the only guy who wanted out of that miserable era in Tech football. Oh, David. Ouch.
Yeah, I don't cover him anymore.
Malachi
1-0
Barnes from
Flyers.
UFC. Not Nyan Young. Yeah, Flyers, what? Port of Martone, huh?
Yeah.
Let's
By
go
the way,
Flyers.
I was going
Team
to
19.
Yes.
Yeah,
This is literally his 12th overall game in the NFL or NHL.
It's unreal.
Yeah. Yeah. It's absolutely unreal. So, all right. Well, there you go, folks. There is our number one corner in this NFL draft. It looks like for the most part, we had Delane number 1, McCoy number 2, Terrell number 3-ish, Hood, Chris Johnson, Deibs. I know you also had Cease, or however you pronounce his name. Cisse. So, yeah.
And shout out to Julian Neal, Malik Muhammad, and we didn't mention them, but Davison Igbinosun at Ohio State. I think all of them are probably second/early third round guys. Really good class at corner, which is one of the few in this draft, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, agreed. Yeah, these guys are very good. It just, yeah. It's always funny when there's limited positions that have actually good classes, and
And I think safety's good too, what we're about to get into. I think it's a decent class.
yeah, no, absolutely. So stick
Top
around.
heavy, but good class.
Yeah, stick around for us. We're coming right back live. We're going to be talking safeties. We're going to do again our top 5, and that will complete our full position top 5. Some we did top 10, depending on how much of a need it was for the Eagles, and we needed to talk more about some of these guys, so you got yourself a little bit more familiar. So all of our shows are all in all of our socials. So whether it's, it's Facebook, whether you're looking back on Twitter, YouTube, obviously the best place, Eagles Pinball Network. Search for all of our shows, every position we've done. So take a look at it all. And yeah, we'll be right back with our safeties. Before we get out of here, David, you got anything to add before we
No,
momentarily get out of here?
if we're going to plug anything and you're interested in the draft, I released my 4th and final mock draft on Philly Sports Network today. It is the how we do version. So you can go check that out. You can find it on my Twitter or on phillysportsnetwork.com.
All right. And Deibs, anything to say before we get out?
Brett Eclipse says his Sonny Styles is more of a safety or linebacker. He was a former safety, and I would be terrified for him to go to the NFC East, which looks very likely.
Very likely.
Especially now.
Yes.
Yeah. And how is that 2 Giants picks?
Plugs, we've been talking about defensive backs for the last 45 minutes, and the Flyers are up 2-0. So hopefully by the end of this next show, they'll be up 4-0.
Go. All right. We will be right back with our safeties. Thank you all for joining us here for the corners. We appreciate all the likes, the follows, the shares, the whatevers, all the buttons. Just hit them all and
All
tell
the
your
buttons.
friends. We'll get out of here. We'll get out of here, and we'll come right back with them safeties. Everybody have a good night.